protection, here to stay. On your path the truth unfolds, guides will whisper, stories told. Let your journey now begin. In the magic, let's dive in.
So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Moon of infinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our steering send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello everyone, welcome in. Just a reminder for future reference, I do see some new faces today. I have specific questions that I don't answer. If you're curious about these, you can read the disclaimer in the description of this video. Also, Nightbot will post randomly the type of questions I will and will not answer. Make sure that you're not asking legal, financial, or medical questions. Make sure that you're following the guidelines as well. For the first 15 minutes, the free questions are free. The yes no questions are free, but I do ask for an exchange of energy, and that is liking the live stream. So typically, if I'm noticing like 2 likes and 10 questions have been dropped, I won't start right away. This does cut into the yes no time because I only do the first 15 minutes. So I just ask everyone's cooperation in that as well. Wanted to let you guys know too, I went live very last minute, and you guys are not usually used to probably seeing me on this early in the day. With that being said, I don't have any pre-orders right now, which means that if you are interested in donating for a reading tonight, for a paid reading, there is no wait time. So let's go ahead and get started with the yes no questions. And we are going to start with Romero. Let's take a look. Wanting to know if you're going through a spiritual transformation. Jay Romero. I am getting a yes for that question. Knight of Pentacles. This next question is for mature. Mature, I am getting a yes. King of Cups. You're welcome, Romero. Teats. Teat, yes. Judgment. Amira. Amira, yes. Queen of Swords. Margaret. I have a no. 4 of Pentacles and the Tower. KCMR. Will XN give back money? This feels reluctant, KCMR, meaning that I don't think this is something X wants to do. But I am getting a yes for you. 7 of Pentacles and Page of Wands. Brenton. We got about 3 minutes left of the free list. We're getting through these last few questions that I have right now. Go ahead and drop your yes, no question. If you have one, we'll try to get to you. Mature, Amira, and Margaret, you're very welcome. KCMR, you're welcome. All right. Brenton. Brenton, I am getting a no for this question for this month in particular, August. I have the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. It looks a little quiet for you financially. Let's see, Shivana. Two minutes left of the free list. Marky keeping you stagnant. Two of Cups is a yes for me, Shivana. Sophie. Sophie, no, the Hermits. Teets and Brent, you're welcome. I speak hello and welcome in. This is for Gemini. One minute left of the free list. I am getting a yes for Gemini. Seven of Cups. Last call for yes or no questions before the free list closes. Got about 20 seconds. All right, guys, that's where we're going to leave it for the free list. Thank you guys for joining in on that. We are going to start on donations now. We don't have any pre-orders at the moment, so there is no wait. If you have any questions about any of the paid readings, just let me know. Hey, happy birthday. That's awesome. I am doing really good. Really excited for the weekend. How about you? Oh, girl, I hear you. I hear you. I know, and I'm not usually on this early at night, but I got some plans this evening, so I was hoping maybe if I got on now, I could kind of finish up and wrap up my day a little earlier. I do like to come on like about this early, at least once a week if I can. Well, did you do anything fun for your birthday today? Or did you have to work or anything? Just had a self-care day. Ooh, pizza and cake. You have a very close birthday to my husband. Pizza and cake sounds perfect. I'm glad that you had some time to yourself to just do some self-care and indulge a little bit. Oh, of course. It's important that you spoil yourself for your birthday. Looks like a donation came through. Let's see, who was this today? You're waiting to sub. Yeah, it shouldn't take but more than 5 minutes. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. So it looks like you donated for a mini reading. Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and get shuffling for you. Oh, hey. Welcome in. I'm going to go ahead and get shuffling for you right now, and we will see what comes through for you. SB, hello and welcome in, friends. All right, first we're going to see if there's any attraction or interest that you're picking up on. Hi, Jay. Hey, welcome in. How are you? I really enjoyed your readings last night, actually. Let's see. All right, so there is attraction and interest. Hey, Jarella, welcome in. There is attraction and interest for you, but what they are showing me is him being kind of locked up with these feelings. So almost like a secret admirer kind of vibe, where I don't know if he's in a place where he wants to step forward and communicate this to you. But I definitely feel like there's excitement when he's near you or in your proximity. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. He feels like you are like very selfless, is what he's picking up, is that you're a very selfless person. You ever heard the expression like a good Samaritan? It's kind of like what's coming through. You have a kind of a couple different archetypes here. You have a monk nun archetype, a guide archetype, an advocate archetype, and Samaritan archetype. So all of those things, and then also the child, all of those things are very selfless and good natured. And so I feel like he's perceiving you this way. He feels like you're the type of person that would put other people before yourself. There is interest and attraction. Yes, I did get a yes on that. But as far as how he's viewing you as someone who's very good natured, very selfless, that you might put other people ahead of yourself. He feels like you're the type of person that can be trusted. Like he feels like he could confide in you, and that you would not break his trust at all. He sees you kind of like a fairy. You just are just very pure and genuine and sincere. And maybe you're a socialite. Maybe you socialize in the workplace a little bit, or whenever he sees you, he feels like you're being very social. He feels like you're the type of person who is generally more positive, more of a positive type of person. that you can be very dedicated. So maybe he's picking up on like work habits and good ethics when it comes to your job. Maybe he feels like you take pride in it or you do really good with it. I feel like he sees you as someone who would stand up for injustices. So if something is not right in the workplace or you feel something is unfair, that he feels like you're the type of person that would voice that opinion and stand up in the face of justice. Um, Maybe he's witnessed you already do something along those lines potentially. But I feel like he overall feels like you're just like a very positive, good natured person, that there is general interest and attraction here for you. It's just something that he'll keep under wraps at this time because the Four of Pentacles is here, and that's very much like I want to keep things to myself for right now. I want to be a little more reserved, be a little more observant. I feel like he's not ready to show his cards at this time when it comes to you. You said you do take pride in your job and it's revolved around helping people. That makes a lot of sense, especially with these cards that are coming through. It's like every single card that I have here, it just shows what a good person you are. And he's really seeing that quality and highlighting it. If there's anything else you would like to add on for, let me know and you can send a donation for that. If that answers your question, then I am going to move on to my next person that's waiting in line. Thank you. Does anything suggest growth in that spread? Like progress in your connection? Not particularly. Yeah, because the Ten of Cups was in reverse and we had the Four of Pentacles. I feel like whatever happens with the Hierophant here, I feel like whatever happens, it's going to be like a slow progress. I do know that I've had some people come in and, you know, especially when it's like a workplace romance, a lot of times those can take some time to get off the ground if they're ever going to, just because of the nature of the dynamic, like, you know, the relationships and stuff. So that might be a good question to ask maybe like another time if you come back and we can look into it. But as of right now, there's very like restrictive, like reserved, holding back energy here, and that would not speak progress to me. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. All right. You're very welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed your readings with me today. I am going to move on to SB. SB, are you in here? Okay, you want a love spread. Oh, you want a timestamp. Okay. So timestamp roughly 33 minutes. Love spread. Love spread many in messages. Okay, okay. Taka typing early. Taka was a BOGO, I think you were. Okay, Taka, that sounds great. You're welcome. And you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. You can always come back later. I'm working on SB right now, and she has a couple readings that I have to do before I'm able to get to your questions. So just sit tight. All right, SB. SB, we're shuffling for you. All right, SB. So, all right. So this is a little bit of the same, I feel, but still hopeful, okay? How he feels, we have the Eight of Swords. So he is feeling like his hands are tied. He's feeling a little bit like restricted, a little like almost like the extenuating circumstances surrounding your connection are almost overpowering his internal desire. And what I mean by that is that he feels like helpless. He feels like there's this drive in him that wants to pursue you and wants to have a connection, a relationship. He feels like, actually, this is like reminiscent of something I think I've said to you before. He wishes that you guys met at a different time, almost like you met sooner So that way, or like not met, because I think you guys have known each other for a little while, but like he feels like you guys could have started your connection a little bit sooner. That way you guys could have had like maybe a stronger foundation or a stronger relationship before all this happened. Or he's saying like if he met you after the fact, then maybe this wouldn't be so hard. So he's kind of feeling like he's between a rock and a hard place right now. He's like, there's not really much I can do about this, even though my heart is telling me one thing and my head is telling me something else. For his true intentions, we have the Queen of Swords. So you're definitely on his mind. I also want to note that the Queen and King of Swords are both here in this spread. And whenever I see two of the same suit of a king and a queen, it always makes me feel like the person we're asking about feels like you guys are a really good match for one another. But I feel like for him, you're definitely on his mind. I feel like he doesn't want to hurt you and he doesn't want to cause more damage. And he really is trying to be very careful with your heart, because I think that you have been through a lot and unfortunately find yourself in certain situations where it makes it really difficult to form connections with people that are long term or that last a long time in a very real way. And maybe he knows this and he's trying hard to not like just be another one of the same, another similar story that ends in the same way. For what you want, we have the Devil. So I feel like you want to remain attached to him like as much as possible. The Devil talks about desire, it talks about attraction, it talks about like we kind of want what we want when we want it, you know? So I kind of feel like you might be in the headspace where you're like, no matter what happens, like I still want to try. And it also talks about like instant gratification, because I don't think you're ready to let this connection go. So you're really maybe wanting to see how it plays out. I think SB, you want to be that like calm, cool, collected type of person where it's like no skin off your back, you're totally fine. But I think deep down, this connection is something that you really enjoy. And while the circumstances might not be ideal, I still think there's a part of you that really wants to see this through. So having a hard time letting this connection go would be something that I can see for you. As far as what he wants is like, he wants to come rushing back towards you, come running back towards you. We have the Six of Cups, and this talks about how he finds comfort with you. He feels like you're a part of him and you feel like home to him. And it's almost that kind of feeling where as soon as he leaves, he's going to want to come right back. And so he feels like this pull, and he's trying to figure out how to make it all happen at one time. What brings you guys together is this craving to be around each other. The Ace of Wands is here, and that card speaks to like constantly feeling inspired, desire, passion, excitement. It's kind of like the energy of like you never get tired of someone and you never get tired of being around them and spending time with them, and like you never want your time to end. And so that's definitely a strength. For what pulls you apart with the Ten of Cups, it's like that long-term harmony is in question, that long-term uncertainty of, you know, is this going to be something that we can work through or not? Are we strong enough or not? And the Ten of Cups talks about alignment. It talks about things being in perfect balance. And as of right now, things are disrupted and things are not in perfect balance because of, again, these extenuating circumstances and prior commitments and things like that. The energy around the relationship is very practical, very strategic. We have the King of Swords. Like right now, we want to focus on what it is that we can control. What's hidden is the Four of Cups. So that's like that feeling of, you know, you don't want to see him go. He doesn't want to leave. This connection's being left in limbo. we really want to see it through, but what do we do about this? So it's like that anxiety maybe of not knowing, and like strongly wanting but not knowing. Will the relationship be successful? I have the King of Pentacles. I do like to see this because the success is based off of security and being stable, and equal and mutual efforts and willingness to indulge in the connection rather than just try to be very like cut and dry with it. So I think that you both have this mutual desire and mutual effort to try to see this through while being realistic at the same time, and that increases this potential for success for your relationship. And for that question specifically, that is a yes card for me. So I think that this energy that you guys are in right now, wherever you're feeling and whatever he's feeling, will be the drive that allows for the best circumstances for you guys to have a successful relationship. So let's look into your second question in regards to what will happen after he leaves. And then you said you wanted some message cards as well. Let's take a look. All right, what happens after he leaves? What happens to their connection after he leaves? What happens with his connection? Their connection after he leaves. Okay, so SB, what I'm being shown is that the communication that happens between you guys is going to be a little on and off. It's going to be a little choppy. It's not for a lack of desire from him to communicate with you or you to communicate with him. It's just life, I think. And then so I asked if you guys remain in constant communication, and I got a no, but I said, will it be like every once in a while, like a couple times a week kind of vibe? And I got more of a yes. For that, I got the Six of Cups again. So there's definitely this desire to like continue to reconnect, but you can expect that there's going to be certain days where you're not hearing from each other, whether that's him reaching out to you and you not getting back to him until the next day, or vice versa, or maybe you go a day or two without talking. It feels frequent throughout the week, but it feels not like every day. It feels kind of on and off. I asked if he will put in the effort to keep this communication going, and I feel is more on and off than you are. I feel like you're more willing to have constant communication with him as much as possible, and I feel like he is the one that might be dragging his feet a little bit with it. Now I do have, for his perspective, the Moon and the Knight of Cups, meaning that he's really going to try to put his best foot forward when it comes to you. He's going to want to tell you the good things in his life. If he's struggling at work, it's going to be something where it would take a lot for him to confide in you and tell you if like something is not going very well for him. I think that he really just wants to continue to keep things light and happy and fun and flirty. And I feel like from your perspective, you're craving that quality time and communication with him. So this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth, I really feel. But I think I think that he's better in person. I feel like communication when you guys are not physically together is not necessarily his strong suit, or it's not going to be his strong suit. I think he's going to try his best to be as consistent as possible, but I think at the same time there is this like part in him where he worries about getting closer to you. Okay? So he might be doing this subconscious thing where he wants to kind of pump the brakes a little bit because he's worried about progressing the relationship. So I feel like from his perspective, it's like, I want to remain in contact with you, but I don't know if I would be able to further the connection along. So what I think this means for you guys is that when he's away, you guys kind of just stay where you're at. Then when he comes back to visit and you see each other, the relationship progresses a little bit further. So I think that once he leaves, the progress that you feel you've been making these last couple of weeks / months or however long it's been, that kind of comes to a halt. That kind of slows down. And you guys kind of stay in that same place. Now, I do see the Ace of Wands, so there could be like some flirty, little like 18 plus spicy kind of messages that are going back and forth sometimes. I think there's definitely going to be conversations of like, I miss you, like I'm excited for you to come back, but he's not wanting to leave you in a boyfriend position. He doesn't want to jump into something like significant right now. Could that happen as he comes back to visit? Like, let's say he comes back in September and he comes back in October, maybe before the end of the year, you guys could become official. But I don't think the first time he leaves, he wants to leave in the boyfriend capacity, because I think there's too many unknowns, there's too many variables. And like I said in the last reading, I don't think that he wants to let you down. I don't think that he wants to hurt you or put you in a position where you're going to feel disappointed again, at least if he can help it. So that's what I've got there. Let's take a look at the messages. And then after that, we have Taka. And then donations will be open still after that. Messages for SB. I'm smelling chocolate right now, and I don't have chocolate anywhere near me. Why am I smelling chocolate? It's weird. Messages from him for SB. So he says, I am so attracted to you. Just being near you is intoxicating. I want you so badly. I look for you everywhere. I know this is hard. I feel like I'm losing too much. With that, like, I feel like I'm losing too much, or like I have too much to lose, like that whole thing. It's making me feel like he's feeling extremely torn between you and his decision to leave, because he's like, if I stay, then I lose my opportunity and the commitment that I made. But if I go, then I lose you. He says, I hope that you can forgive me one day. So maybe he's worried about like you being upset with him about this. He says, I'll miss being with you. Let's get one more message. Hey, lovely. All right, he says, I won't let you down. So it feels like maybe he really is going to make an effort while he's gone. And he says, I compare others to you. I wonder how you feel is at the bottom of the deck. So pulled a couple extra messages for you. So that is what I have for you, SB. Hopefully you enjoyed your readings with me, and I will see you next time. All right, let's update the donation list really quickly. We have Taka next. Taka, if you're here, check in with me. Hey, Taka. I am. I do try at least once a week to do like a 8-ish stream. A lot of times those are the nights where I'm like, I gotta run to the store before it closes. But I do try to come on a little bit earlier, at least once a week. But tonight specifically, it just kind of worked out because before my niece starts school next week, she's been asking to come stay the night at our house and with us. So after I work tonight, I'm gonna go get her. And then there's in my neighborhood, it's really cute. It's done by the recreation committee. They have something called a teen glow party, where I think they do like glow in the dark stuff and glow sticks, and they're standing pool and like teenagers 13 17 go, and they have like a DJ and like snacks and stuff. And I told her about it, so I told her she can invite some of her friends, so we're gonna take her to that tomorrow, and then we'll bring her home afterwards. But I know she's been missing spending time with us and stuff, and we haven't seen her too much this summer, so that's the plan. But that's why I'm on a little early tonight, because I'm gonna have to get her in a couple of hours. All right, so this is for Taka. Taka, it's for a BOGO. So as far as tomorrow night goes, I'll probably do offline reading for anybody who wants a reading, because the event that we're going to after 10 p.m. and then we have to bring her home. So I don't know how much time I'm going to have tomorrow night to work. So it's either going to be an impromptu stream if I find time, or I'll do offline readings instead. All right, how is Jay viewing Taka? How is Jay viewing Taka? Oh, he's still driving you around? That's cute. How is Jay viewing Taco Lady? That is cute. Anything to spend extra time with you. The energy of wanting to like sneak you away and have one-on-one time with you is definitely still at the forefront of this reading. It's like a huge theme of wanting time alone with you. How is he viewing her? How's he viewing her? Some days it's like obvious. He was like, hey, are you still there? Don't leave. I have to drop something off. Aw, that's so cute. Any excuse to see you. Adorable. So, Taka, he's viewing you like his girlfriend. Obviously, we're going to take that with a grain of salt, but it is the Queen of Pentacles card, okay? So, that's speaking like girlfriend material. Now, ultimately, Queen of Pentacles means the wife and the mother. So this could be him kind of seeing you as like kind of what he would want to be his next partner, and kind of see where that goes. But he's kind of viewing you like, so here's what I will say. Because he's not talking to anyone else is what I'm seeing. And I've never really felt that. I've always felt like any attention that he has is on you, because he is such a busy person and has so many responsibilities. But if someone were to say to him, are you seeing anyone right now? You are who pops into his mind. Now, again, grain of salt, but I feel like you are like that person for him right now at this time. I mean, you have been that person for him, and I think that he is still viewing you that way. Let's see. How is he viewing her? He says you have the Midas touch. So, like, anything you do is like gold to him. Anything that you think of, anything that you contribute. Like, if you've hugged him, it feels very good to him. I feel like he's in this place where he's like, she's just incredible. Like, she's just good at everything. And I think also he likes, because he feels like you're a good friend as well. He's like, you know, while there's attraction here, I also feel like she's the type of person I could just chill with, you know, like we could just like hang out, do nothing, and I still think we'd have such a good time. He feels like you have a way with words, like you know how to just express yourself really well. And you know, like you almost have this like inner navigation where you know like when is the right time to say something, when is it not. You're really good at picking up like cues from him, and he just kind of feels like you always say the right thing or you always do the right thing. There's something along those lines where he just feels like you're like perfect. And I think that he also really loves how well you problem solve. Okay. So this might pertain to work specifically, but in his mind, he thinks it could translate into just everyday life. You're very good at thinking up solutions to issues. I think that he also likes your independence that you exude. Like you don't need him, but I think that he does want to be there for you and he does want to help you in any way that he can. Um, let's see. How is he viewing her? He is perceiving you as letting him take the lead. And I don't know if from his perspective, he thinks you're guarded still when it comes to him, or maybe he feels like you're just trying to be respectful. Um, but there's definitely parts of you that he feels like he hasn't really gotten to yet, earned or seen yet from you. So the way that you're coming across is still very, you're not, here's the word, you're not coming across desperate, okay? You're coming across very independent, very secure. You're kind of just letting him do his thing. And I think that this is making him even more and more attracted to you because you are coming across as someone who's like, you know, reserved yourself. And, you know, you're giving him, but you're giving him like crumbs. Okay. Sometimes you give him the whole piece, but it's like few and far between. And I feel like he likes this. I feel like he likes that you're not completely throwing yourself at him and that you're allowing for him to kind of figure this connection out as you go along. Because I think that if you were coming on very strong, that would kind of freak him out a little bit, but you're not. You're just like, it's like the perfect formula. You're just like doing it just right for him. And he feels like whatever he gives to you, you give back to him, no more, no less. He just feels like you're very much matching his energy and he's thoroughly enjoying that. Does that answer your question? I almost feel like he feels like you can do no wrong. And that's kind of a dangerous place to be because you really could take advantage of him feeling like you're perfect. It's almost like people who get in the relationships with people who like will never say no to them and they know that their person will never say no to them, so they have to use that their power very wisely and not abuse it. That's kind of how I feel for you and him with he just thinks you're just too good to be true. Oh, that's kind of like that song. You know what I'm talking about? You're just too good to be true by Frankie Valli. That old school song. Maybe that's a song for you, friend. Okay, let's look at your upcoming actions question. IJ, you donated. I got you for a BOGO. You'll be after Lovely, okay? All right, next actions. That's actions. All right, so the theme of like wanting to give to you something is still very, very strongly here, like wanting to bring you something to brighten your day. So like if you have talked about your favorite kind of candy or dessert, or like something that you enjoy, like maybe you told him about an interest of yours, we're just going to say Hello Kitty, even though I'm sure that's not true. Maybe he found something Hello Kitty, thought of you, brought it to you, kind of thing. Like I feel like almost like the things that you've said, if you have any interest, he's kind of put in his back pocket. I feel like there's something he wants to give to you. In this reading, it's the image is a rose or some kind of flower, but that's not necessarily something we have to take literally. It just feels like some kind of gesture of like giving something to you. I don't know if he's kind of chickening out. He's had this thought that he wants to bring something to you, but wondering if that's going to come across too forward or a little too much. So he's kind of hiding behind the helping you out, giving you rides and things like that. But this thought of wanting to bring something to you to brighten your day is definitely something that keeps going through his mind, and it's a theme that keeps coming up in your readings. So I would say it's probably just a matter of time before this specific thing happens. I also feel like there's a desire to reach out and hold you, reach out and touch you, hold your hand, like touch your shoulder. I don't know. There's like this like I want to reach out to her and I want to like feel her. I want to like touch her, and not even in a like scandalous, spicy kind of way. Just I feel like he has these urges to just like feel you, and just he holds back a lot with that kind of thing. You said he mentioned he owes you a cookie croissant. Is that a thing, a cookie croissant? I've never heard of that before. As a joke, we always talk about desserts in cafes. Yes, so like it's like he's getting warmed up to the idea of being a little bit more obvious with his flirting. And so you will see more of that from him. You'll see more of like him, because I think for the longest time he kind of hid behind this like facade of like, oh, I'm not going to give it all away. I'm just going to kind of feel her out and I'm going to see like where it goes and we're going to keep it professional. But I almost feel like he's kind of like his inhibitions are getting lowered with you. He's getting more comfortable, and I think he's getting more comfortable with the idea of being more openly flirty with you in a much more obvious way. And I think that you're going to be seeing more of that side from him too, right? Yeah, so you're going to be like, wow, he's like not really holding back. He's being kind of like obvious with it, like he's not, you get what I'm trying to say. Because I do think that he's the type of person that can typically be very reserved, but I feel like he wants to be very clear moving forward. He wants you to clock it. Like, he doesn't want it to be a question of, does she think that I'm into her or not? I think he wants you to start getting more of an awareness that this is not just in your head, that there actually is interest here. And I think because he knows that you match his energy very well, maybe he feels like if he gives more to you that's apparent, like more obvious flirting, just getting a little more bold with it, I feel like you will match, he thinks you will match that energy, and then you'll be just as bold back, and then maybe you guys can see a little more progress as time goes on, because I feel like he just kind of wants to be a little more out in the open with it, but I also feel like communication is also something that will remain consistent. I'm not sure if you guys are still talking outside of work, but I would assume you guys are texting each other at least, because he's like coming to pick you up and stuff. But I feel like there's going to be more of that flirting in person happening, as well as maybe, over virtual communication, like texting each other. So I think that the main takeaway from this reading in regards to action is this like building desire to be more openly flirtatious with you. And also there's like a some type of gesture that he wants, like a gift or something to make you happy, to brighten your day. And that's probably going to be coming to you in the coming weeks as well. He called a lot today. Yeah. So I think what's going to happen, because I remember you saying earlier in the night in regards to him being very, very obvious, because you said that he was like wanting to drop something off and asking if you were still there, and he was just being very transparent with his intentions. I think you're going to see more of that from him. But instead of him trying to hide it, he's just going to be comfortable being like, yeah, this is me, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? So let me know if that answers your questions. Again, we're still going with that slower paced whatever, but I do feel like in the coming weeks, like the next couple of weeks even, that you're going to be seeing just more progress that's very obvious. Not just the slow paced thing. It's like now you're going to come into a time in the next couple of weeks where it's like you're not going to doubt yourself on his interest. You're going to be like, okay, it's just very clear to me that he's wanting this. Perfect. Yay. Okay. So Taka, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for your donations tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't change anything, because he's liking what you're putting down. So don't change any way that you're moving. Matching his energy is fine, but letting him be the one to pursue you seems to be working really well for you guys. All right, next person I have is Lovely. Perfect. All right, Lovely, if you're here, please check in. Hey there. So we've got an in-depth for you. Oh, that's okay. I would have just messaged you on Instagram, so no worries. In worst case scenario, you know where to find me, so I could do it another time too. update. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we are good. We are good. And plus, I had every intention of staying for at least the next like 30 minutes, anyways. So I'm sure you would have been back in time. Energy update on M. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have noticed that. I will say, I remember when I was first doing readings, it was such a like people were so impatient when you were getting readings. Like, when's my turn? When is it going to be my turn? When's next? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's just the course of like my personal practice where people are just very patient on like how fast I can get to them. They know lives obviously you're going to get a reading a lot quicker than an offline reading, but I still have like a lot of people who are super patient. And I just remember like back in 2019, it was like, when is it my turn? When is it my turn? I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel like it's the climate, I guess, or the culture of tarot readings, at least on this platform. It feels like people are a lot more patient and understanding. Now, over on TikTok, that might be a different story, but at least over here, I feel like I'm never in a rush. Even though I do try to be mindful of people's time, I never feel like anyone's rushing me, which is nice. It's a nice change from how things used to be a long time ago. So funny. I ran into an IG account while watching Reels, and the guy looks like him with his name. Oh my God, what the heck? It's like his energy's coming in. Energy update, please. You used to have the crazies like that on your channel, but now it's calm. Yeah, I like it so much. It's gotta be like the culture of tarot readings over on YouTube or something. Like that has changed because I used to have people like so impatient. And maybe it's just like we as readers collectively have just become more, we're not in a rush. Our reading, just trusting that your reading's gonna get to you when it's supposed to, and just kind of like leading by that example. Maybe everyone's been kind of understanding in that way. I don't know. I don't know what the change is, but I like it. That's it. Reincarnated. Oh my gosh. This is actually so freaking crazy. Okay. I'm going to show you the two cards that I have. I'm going to send it to you on Instagram real quick because I'm pulling from the energy oracle. And then I'm also pulling tarot. So I want you to see how identical these cards are. So there's that one. And as you can see, both of those cards say this way or that way. And then you have these two cards, which are also very similar. One's a leaf, one's a feather. But I'm noticing how the cards are kind of mimicking each other right now. But we'll go into the meaning here in a minute. Okay. So I just had to send those to you because I was like, this is kind of crazy, like how similar these cards are. So the first thing that's coming through from his energy is strategy. So for him, this is him making plans. I think he's getting to a point where he is trying to figure out what his next step is going to be. What I will say is propelling his urgency. Bodhi, what's propelling his urgency right now? Bodhi, if you don't knock it off, and knock my cat out, is his he's starting to get very anxious. He's starting to get very like, oh my god, I'm gonna murder my cat. I'm so sorry. This is not. If you do not stop, I'll put you in your room. My cats have no chill. I'm so sorry. I'll have to tell you the story about what happened last night when I came home, but that's for another day. He is feeling very jealous. Like I'm feeling like a lot of anxiety and jealousy, and like it's like he's feeling in this place where he does not know what the heck is going on with you. He's like, I have been out of her life for so long. At this point, I don't know if she's still attracted to me. I don't know if she wants to be with me. I don't know if she couldn't care less about me. I don't know if she still thinks about me. I don't know if she's talking to someone else. And I feel like he's almost talking himself into a tizzy, okay? He's stressing himself and like overthinking. And this isn't a what is the word? A regression, because I don't think he was like this before, so I don't want you to think that he's taking a step back into like his old ways. But I feel like right now there's just been so much time apart and such a buildup. And, you know, for the longest time, he was calm, cool, collected because he was focusing on himself and not really worrying about you too much. But I think there's something here because I have the appreciation card that came out with envy. And I feel like there is just this part of him that's eating away at him because he has no idea what the heck is going on with you. And the more he grows or he evolves, the more precious, I guess, the time is that he feels that he has left to approach you. And I think, again, from his perspective, he is doing this for himself, but there is a portion that's doing it for you, or doing it for the hope that you will see this change in him and want to be with him. So it's like, yeah, it's like a pressure cooker. It's literally like a friggin' Instapot where this shit's been building and building and building and building. And I feel him just like working himself up into like a panic. I think this is going to be the time in the next few days, or at least like the next week, he's really going to be putting focus on your social media. Anything he has access to you about, he's like going to be watching that shit like a hawk. You probably will see him watching your stories if you haven't already. If you post anything, hi Cece, welcome in. But it just feels like he's just thinking to himself, I am running out of time. And this is the thing, is that he's putting a time on it, okay? Oh, that his birthday's on Tuesday. That's awesome. He's the one that's giving himself a deadline or a due date, okay? Because you're over here just chilling and like you're fine, but he doesn't know that, okay? But I do like this kick in the ass, if I can say it that way. I like this fire that's been lit underneath him. I like that he feels like you are precious and that if you're not already, someone is going to come try to be with you because you're very desirable. And I like that he is recognizing how rare of a person you are, and that makes me feel like he's less likely to screw things up this time. And so right now with this card of strategy with the King of Wands, it makes me feel like he is figuring out his next steps. I feel deep down, and I might even bet money on this, that you will hear from him before the end of the month. I think you don't have much time before you get some kind of correspondence, okay? I think he's going to reach out in a very tangible way where you can say he just liked my post, or he just reacted to a story, or he sent me a text or whatever. Like, I feel like there's some kind of interaction that he can't hold back anymore. Okay. You've been posting a little more like your funny stuff. And I think he's going to get to the point where he's not going to be able to control himself. You have the yin yang energy here as well. So he's feeling that strong polarization, that strong opposition, that strong attraction, like a magnet to you right now. And everything's under the microscope. Everything is being magnified for him right now. All of his feelings for you, all of his hopes and his dreams and everything's just being amplified at this time. And I think it's making for a very anxious where he's very much in his head right now. And I think this is the catalyst for communication that's going to be coming back in, I want to say, in the next few weeks from him. Yeah, you'll definitely have to let me know, because you feel it, I feel it, your sister feels it, everyone feels it, and it's like getting more intense. It's getting more irresistible. Like, it's just something he's gonna get to a point where he's not gonna be able to deny it. And here's the thing, like, if and when he starts communicating, if he hears back from you, it's going to be immediate relief, and then maybe he won't be so crazy. But he's definitely like trying to gain intel on you, trying to see what's going on with you, what you're up to. And because you're not giving much, it's driving him crazy. But like I said, I like that. I like that you're not giving him a lot. And if you are going to post, just make it something that he can respond to, but still leave him curious what's going on with you, because this charge that I'm feeling from him is because he has no idea what's going on with you, and that we have to keep that going, because if you give him anything more, then he might feel like he has more time. And honestly, I think there's been enough time that has passed where you guys could try to rebuild something, and I don't think it's going to take that much longer for that to get started. But we need him to be courageous, like the strength card that's here. We need him to just say, screw it, I'm going to just follow my heart, Yeah, the tables will turn. Yes, you know that's always been me. I post but keep so much private. I remember he told me I was a mystery. Well, keep being that mystery, baby. But yeah, I feel like now this again is a generalization. All right, we're going to say it's a generalization. I'm sure there are specific circumstances where that is not the case. But I do think that women process breakups way sooner than guys do. Okay? Um I think for most men, again, this is a generalization, but I think from my experience and from what I know, most men, they want to dull the pain. They want an instant gratification. Maybe a breakup even feels like a relief to them in the beginning. And it's heartbreak for the girls at first. But the girls allow themselves to feel and process, and they're not trying to distract themselves. And then they move on. And then it doesn't hit the guy until way, way, way later. And then typically that's when the guy tries to come back around again because they're like, oh shit, what did I do? And the girl's already moved on at that point. So it's definitely something that I feel happens. Now, it doesn't always mean that way. Like for my husband, for example, he told me with his ex, he processed those feelings immediately. He didn't wait. And that's a very healthy thing to do. And I think a lot of men can do that as well. But just from my experience, women are more likely to jump into their feelings right off the bat after something like that happens and grieve and go through that heartache and heartbreak. And a lot of times men will just kind of be like, woohoo, I'm free of her. No more fighting, no more arguing. Boys' time. Let's hang out. Let's go do this, whatever. And then a month goes by and then suddenly they're like, oh shit, I never processed this. So I can see that. I can see that happening for sure. With your BFF, he was down bad early and even chased. It'll happen. Hey Kaiser, welcome in. Hold on, let me see where I'm at. Let me see. IJ, are you in the chat, friends? Kaiser, I can do one more donation. Cece, thank you for the donation. I'll add you to the list, okay? But lovely. I hope you have a good rest of your night. I'm sure we'll be talking soon. You're very welcome. All right, IJ, next for the BOGO. IJ, go ahead and post. Thank you. All right, everyone that's left on my list right now, IJ, CC, and Kaiser, if you guys can get your questions prepped and dropped for me, I'm going to try to move along as quickly as possible. I just realized what time it was. Thank you guys for your support as always. I wish I had more time to hang out tonight. All right. So IJ, then CC, then Kaiser, and then that's where I'm going to leave it for the night. All right. How is Spirit Team feeling about this shit? Guys, stop fighting. How is spirit team feeling about the shift of things? Ooh, I got the Lovers card. This is such like a cute image. I feel like your your spirit team, like, not that I think this is literally what happens, but the image that I'm getting is kind of cute because it's like all of your spiritual team standing in front of a board, okay? And the board is just all of these ideas and all of this strategy. You know the expression going back to the drawing board. So they're standing there, someone's got pens in their hands, someone's talking, someone's kind of observing and watching, and I feel like you and her are kind of like chess pieces where it's like they're constantly trying to put you guys in each other's path, and they're like working together to try to strategize. And the image that's being the image that's being given to me is that they're kind of like in a board meeting with like a dry erase board, and they have like a presentation, and they're like they're like, okay, well, he did this, that's going to put them on a different path, so let's put this in front of her so that way they can get back on track. And like, I feel like your spiritual team is constantly trying to like help you guys navigate this. Like, they're constantly trying to put, you know, the two of you in each other's path. So when I said, how does your spirit team feel, and I got the Lovers, they're just so happy, because it's almost like they're like, yay, like our work is paying off. Not that you and your own free will and her own free will don't have anything to do with this. They clearly do. Like, your guys' interest in one another is absolutely what's helping this along. But I almost feel like they're kind of in the background, like, okay, what's the next move gonna be? Like a sports play, you know? They're trying to predict what your next move is going to be, what decision you're going to make, so that they know how to work together with her team and figure it out. And it's just kind of cute. It's kind of cute, like, the way your team is just so supportive. And they're like, this is what we're wanting, this is what we want to happen. The Ten of Swords is also here, and that makes me feel like there's a sense of the past is in the past, and so everything you guys have been through up until this point is kind of creating this this path forward. And it's almost like things should just keep getting better from here on out. All of the patience, all of the waiting, like all of, you know, the what's she thinking, what's she feeling, but and vice versa, that almost feels like a thing of the past. I feel like what Spirit wants you to expect is that moving forward, there's going to be continued progress. You said that reminds me of a betting board from the movie Cabin in the Woods. I love that movie. Yeah, so it's like that same vibe. And you know, they're kind of watching you and watching her, and okay, if he does this, then we've got to do this with her, and vice versa. So I kind of feel like they're all kind of working together. And like I said, I don't think that's literally what's happening, but that's the visual it's being given to me. And they also want you to know that things that were once stagnant, the Hangman is in reverse. So there's this shift that you're feeling, this transitional period. It is something that's real, and they are very, very, very supportive of your union and wanting you to know that moving forward, things should hopefully just keep getting easier and easier. That's the plan. That's the hope. That, you know, whatever this shift is that you're referring to is just opening lots of doors for you guys and allowing for easier, I guess, communication, easier connection, easier progress, lifting blocks and things like that. But I feel like they're very happy for you. And I also feel like they're kind of happy, not that they're happy for themselves, because I don't think spiritual team has an ego or pride or anything like that that would allow for them to be very self-satisfied. But I still think that there's this celebration that's happening surrounding your connection, happy for you, happy for her, and feeling really good about this. Oh, yes. Always be grateful and let them know how grateful you are. That's an important part of a relationship between spirit and yourself. Reminds me of the profound connection I made with my higher self yesterday, and thanks for that read too. You're welcome. All right, Bogo 2. What does she want you to do better to assist you on this journey? What does she want him to do better? What does she want him to do better? So the first thing that's coming through is the because you, how do I put this? I'm trying to think of this in like a tangible way. Continuing to grow, continue to expand your mind, continuing to put effort and energy into that. And by doing that, you can be more optimistic, you can be more stimulated, you can be more inspired, and really like tangible ways to do this. And I don't think you're like this, but maybe if you're like, oh, I could do better with that. I noticed like a big thing that allows for more optimism and more inspiration and more stimulation is doing things every single day that bring your vibration up. Okay. So that could be reading a really good book that shifts your mindset and helps rewire your brain chemistry. That can be music, that can be art, etc. But one of the biggest components, I think, of having like a growth mindset is just not ever complaining, ever. It is okay to be in your feelings about things. It's okay to say, man, that was really frustrating that happened. And allowing yourself to feel that sadness or that disappointment, because we're not meant to be toxically happy all the time. Okay. There is something called toxic positivity. However, being aware of your mindset, are you dwelling in a negative place or a positive place? Are you able to say, okay, that was unfortunate, but what's the next step? That's a pessimistic, positive place. And you notice people who don't ever complain, because complaining and getting angry is a high, okay? But people who don't ever complain, they find themselves being able to pull themselves out of darker places a lot faster. And so, and also like it doesn't feel, it's a high, but in the end complaining does not feel good. Okay? Because that's like a victim mindset. It's instead of trying to say what can we do to get ourselves out of this, we kind of like stay and dwell, and complaining is not a place of growth, period. If you're complaining, it means that you're complacent. It means that you're willing to kind of stay in that place because you're not going to do anything about it. You just want to like complain about it. You want to vent about it. So, tangible things that you can do to raise your vibration are going to be important. And again, I don't think you're a complainer, IJ, so I just want to be clear about that. However, if you feel like you can do better with negative mindsets, if you feel like you can, instead of allowing something to completely take you down, or inconveniences to completely like, and this also includes hanging out with people who are complainers, because IJ, if you're not, maybe you're not naturally one, or maybe you used to be but you're not anymore, whatever it is, but then you're surrounding yourself with people who are negative and always want to see like the worst and think of worst case scenarios and things like that. That is going to affect your energy as well. And that's going to affect your mindset. And see, she wants you in this place where you're seeing the potential for beauty in all things, believing everything is possible, having a growth mindset. And she wants you to keep going down that path. She wants you to keep thinking that way. She doesn't want you to be jaded by the world. She doesn't want you to be jaded by your experiences. And if there's anything that does hold you back, she wants you to find ways to get through that, because the plans that she has for you and her are so expansive and so like positive. What the heck are you doing, Gunner? What's going on? Is there a bug or something? What's the deal? What's the deal? The plans that she has for you guys is going to require that you to be in that place. So whatever you feel puts you into a more understanding, compassionate, good feeling place and mentality, where you're focusing on the things that are going well for you, and you are learning and you are growing and you are just trying to absorb things that are good for you. So that could be a podcast, that could be a book, that could be music, that could be art, that could be maybe your career, maybe your job itself is really great for your mindset because maybe you're helping people. I don't know, whatever it is. I feel like she's saying keep going down that path for me because I have big plans for us and I need that you to be in that place specifically. What else can he do? What else can he do? Okay, you guys, go. Get down. Get down. You're driving me freaking crazy. I literally have cats jumping at my head right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm in a war zone, and I feel like my cats are the bombs, and I feel like I'm gonna get scratched or something because they're like hyper fixating on this stupid bug, and they keep jumping around my head, and I'm getting so terrified they're gonna knock me out. So she also wants you to continue to be selfless, continue to be devoted. I think that she would love for you to have some kind of spiritual practice that feels intimate and sacred to you, something that you do, not particularly anything that she does, unless that kind of correlates. But I feel like she likes the idea of you being someone who has some kind of like spirituality, and some kind of sacred like practice or something like that, that you can do. So whether that's meditation, or that's morning prayer, or that's reading the Bible at the end of the day, or that's like journaling or something. Like basically she wants you to have some kind of structure, because I think what else is important to her is that you add value to her life and she adds value to yours, and you guys coexist together, but you can continue to grow independently. She doesn't want to be someone's whole world where you can't function without her, and she doesn't want to have you and like feel like you can't, or she can't function without you. She likes the idea. You're welcome, Kaiser. Hold on, before you run, let me just double check what I've got here. Did you drop your questions, Kaiser? Make sure that you post your questions for me, okay? She wants to make sure that you have like your own thing that is of interest to you. So y'all are gonna find yourself in your room. I cannot. Y'all are gonna hurt me. Stop it. She wants you to have your own interests of your own. Oh my god. IJ, I am so freaking sorry. Hold on. Boga questions. What does Erica truly need you to know? Okay, Kaiser, I have your questions. And IJ, I'm gonna go put them in their room real quick for a little bit, just so I can finish out these readings, so I'm not like screaming at them and trying to get my thoughts out. So hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So the thought I was trying to conclude was that she wants this to be a very synergistic, really great type of connection where you're growing, she's growing, you guys are doing things together, you're doing things separately, like you said, balance, where it's mutually beneficial for the both of you for the rest of your life. She loves the idea of you jumping in and helping her and vice versa. She loves the idea of you guys just working together in just a very harmonious way. The last thing that I was going to tell you was the Four of Pentacles was in reverse. Thank you, Kaiser. It's all good. And I think she would be okay if you were a little more forward with her. So the Four of Pentacles upright usually talks about like taking it easy, being a little more reserved, holding back, not being too obvious with your intentions or your feelings or whatever. I think she would be open to you being a little more open with her. So being a little more forward, maybe being a little bit more obvious with how you're feeling. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't know how much more obvious I can be. And if you are, I totally understand that. But I think that she would be okay with you being more direct with her. to better assist or like progress this connection further. So, you know, I think that you tell her a lot of great things, and I think that you compliment her, and I think that she really truly appreciates you as well. But at the same time, I also feel like she is kind of in a place right now where she would be a little bit more comfortable with you being a little more forward. You know, and I don't know if you're in the place right now where you're comfortable with that, or if you would like be willing to like ask to spend some time with her or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the place that you're in. And obviously, I don't want to force you into doing something that you're not ready for either. But I think, and I don't think it needs to get to that point necessarily, unless that's what you're wanting. But I feel like she would be okay with you seeing a good picture of her and be like, damn, you look amazing, you know, like, and maybe you do that. I don't know, but I'm just getting like this feeling with the Four of Pentacles in reverse is that she's open to you being more direct with her. So do with that information what you will. Again, I am so sorry that my cats were driving me crazy. Like being like speechless, being like, wow, this picture, I have no words. I am speechless. Yeah, she likes stuff like that. She really enjoys that a lot. But again, I appreciate you tonight. I am so sorry that there was so many distractions, but I was like, I was worried for my safety. Oh my gosh. IJ, that is what I have for you. I think you're doing amazing. And honestly, I think that the things that I have said tonight, you might already be doing. But that just shows like how ready for her you truly are at this point. I said those exact words and she liked that. Yes. She likes feeling wanted by you for sure. So maybe a little bit more cheeky comments like that would help progress your connection. You know what I mean? Being a little more forward. You don't have to be anything crazy, but I think she is open to more of that side of you. I understand that maybe she has other people in her DM that are doing the same thing. You want to stand out and be different. You don't want to look like just like the same old kind of guy. And I get that, but she knows that by now. She knows that you're not the same as other people. So it's okay. You're welcome, friend. Okay. So the next person I have up is CC. CC donated for a $13 reading. CC, do you have a question for me? Hey, CC. IJ, have a good night. All right, CC, you are next, friend. Do you have a question for me? How's Danny feeling after your talk? Okay, let's take a look. How is Danny feeling after the talk? Okay, so he is trying to have trust in what was discussed. I feel like he's not in a position where he wants to kind of jump into feeling any kind of way right now. So, for example, the cards that are coming through is patience. We also have the Three of Pentacles, which is what I mentioned in one of IJ's reading recently. That speaks to strategy. So he's saying, you know, I want to have patience here. I don't want to jump into feeling any particular way either way. Like, basically, I don't think he's here to want to jump in to make a decision. Depending on how the conversation went, if this was a positive conversation, he wants to work with you. If this was a negative conversation, he's still trying to figure out solutions on how to move forward. Okay. So I feel like he's in this position right now where he's not necessarily walking away. He is potentially trying to even understand your side of things and hear you out and hear what it is that you have to say to him. I have the friendship and the health card here. So I don't think he has necessarily negative feelings. If this, again, was not a positive conversation, I still don't feel like he's necessarily trying to have any kind of blame or direct any kind of blame in any direction. But this could also indicate that if it was not a positive conversation and he doesn't want to blame anyone, he might also not be accepting responsibility or taking accountability. But if this was a positive conversation, then he is essentially just very open to what it is that you had to say. And he's really kind of taking that in and absorbing that right now. Honestly, I would say that with either way this went, it feels like to me, he wants to figure out a solution. Bottom line, the theme is he wants to figure out a solution. He said you put up some boundaries and called him out for not trying to be better himself. So he's not blaming you for that. He's not blaming you for putting up boundaries. But again, if he's not pointing fingers any direction, especially himself, that can also mean that he's not taking accountability. I feel like he's not walking away from this connection either way. Right now, he's trying to sit here and think, how do we problem solve? How do we work together? So you're feeling a certain way and you're wanting to see a shift or a change from him. And he's going, well, I don't necessarily feel like I'm in a position to want to make those changes, but what can I do to make her happy? What can I do to work this out with her? Can we strategize? Can we collaborate? Can we figure out a way where we both can get what we want or what we need? And I think that he's in this place too of just accepting that what has happened has happened. I don't foresee him making immediate changes or having immediate feelings about this. I don't think he wants to be mad at you. And I also feel like he doesn't want to accept his position either. So I think right now he's doing damage control in his own mind. He's thinking, How do I solve this? How do I fix this? How can I make this better? Is this something that can be resolved? Is this something that can be fixed? Okay. I feel like in general, he wants you to be happy. I think the question comes in for him is, can I make her happy? Am I the best person for her to make her happy? I don't think he wants this to end. I think he wants this to get better. But the problem is, Cece, is that if you've offered some kind of ultimatum to him, you know, this is how I feel. This is my boundary. You know, if things don't change, then I'm not going to allow access, that kind of thing. I think that he feels kind of between a rock and a hard place right now. Again, he's not making any decisions. He's not going to cut you off completely, but also the accepting the responsibility. So he is like something he's probably not going to do right away either. I truly think he's in a place where he's just processing his emotions and how he's feeling about this right now. You know, and as we all know, boundaries are what we are willing to do ourselves, what we are willing to deal with and put up with and tolerate versus like what we're not, right? You can't put a boundary up and say, tell him that your boundary is that he's not drinking. You can't say like, oh, my boundary is that you don't drink, because boundaries have to do with you. But your boundary sounds like it's you do you, and if you want to drink, that's fine, that's on you. But my boundary is that I will not allow you access to me under these circumstances. I don't want to deal with drinking. So I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot do, but I am going to tell you that you won't have access to me if this continues, because I will not subject myself to that. So I feel like for him, he is trying to see how he can still get away with that while at the same time finding a way to make you happy. So Cece, his solution, for example, might be, I'm still going to drink, but I won't drink around you. Do you get what I mean? Like, he's going to still try to figure out a way around this. And I feel like for you, for your trust, for your sense of security with this person, I think that it's best for you to just kind of pull back and walk away. I do think from his perspective, he does not think that this is over. You said that's fair processing. Yeah, he's still processing, but he's not going to give this up. And I also think he doesn't want to come to terms with what you're saying to him either, because if he likes drinking and that's something that he wants to do, those are terms he's not going to accept. And so that could be why I'm picking up on that like in between place right now with him, where he's just like, what do I do? What can I do? Can I fix this in some way where we can still both get what we want out of this? And I have a feeling that that's probably why I'm not necessarily picking up on anger or guilt or sadness or blame. And I feel like he respects what you're saying and he understands where you're coming from. But his ability to change course due to what you have said to him feels like a harder path for him. I know he won't give up. That's why it's harder for me to hold my boundaries. I know. What do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're just going to like pull back from him for a while? You blocked him? Okay. You need space. You don't like how this makes you feel. Lots and lots of space. Yeah. I mean, if it makes you feel better, he will get the picture, you know? Like eventually he will realize how serious you are, and by your actions, by you blocking and creating that place of space with him, I think that he'll eventually figure it out. I just think right now, while he hears what you're saying, it's not necessarily like clocking to him. It's not computing for him how serious you are. Like he knows you're serious, but I don't think that he realizes that it's as serious as it is that you're willing to walk away from him kind of serious. Because right now I think he thinks this is just a warning and you guys will figure it out. But, you know, with your actions and over time, I think he'll start to put it together. Cece, good luck with that. I know that must have been really, really hard for you. Maybe easy in certain ways, you know, because you know that's not what you want, but ultimately understanding, setting that boundary, what that means for your connection with him, that probably was difficult for you. But I'm sending you lots of love and light and hoping that you can stay strong during this time. Yeah, definitely agree. Cece, it was great chatting with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and hopefully we see you back again. We're going to go ahead and get started on Kaiser. You're welcome, Cece. Kaiser's BOGO, and then I am signing off for the night. Good night. What does Erica truly need you to know about your connection? Hey, Micaiah. Yes, my list is closed. My free and my donations. I'm working on my last person tonight. Kaiser. So I feel like she's in a place where, here's the thing, Kaiser. You're very, very good at taking the lead. You're very good at like making the plans, making sure she feels special. You know, guiding this connection and being open with your communication and leaving the dialogue available where if she wants to reach out to you, you are here. I think you're very, very good at leading this connection. But I think what she's needing, Micaiah, you're welcome. Definitely try again next time you see me. We do free readings the first 15 minutes of the live, and then I also do donations as well. But Kaiser, I feel like what she's asking for right now is for her to do that, or for her to be that person. And I think what happens is that if you allow for her to be the one to take the lead, what you might notice is that things kind of go quiet or they go stagnant, and maybe you're feeling potentially like if you're not the one putting effort into the connection, then it's nothing's going to happen from it. But I almost feel like she's needing from you just this shift in energy. Like she needs to basically be the one that's guiding this and setting the tone for this connection. And while I say that, I feel like my eye is twitching because I feel like this is just like, I feel like this is going to be not productive for your relationship if you allow for her to be the one to take the lead, just because she's been what feels like a bit more slow moving in this connection. It feels like she's the one that's kind of lingering around and like twiddling her thumbs, and I feel like putting that ball in her court, it makes it so that it feels like you're kind of giving up on the connection for some reason. That's what I'm picking up on. That's what it feels like. It feels like it would be, you feel better when you're the one leading it and you're the one communicating and you're the one reaching out, because at least you know that there will be some kind of form of contact. If you leave it all with her, then maybe you're wondering like, what's that going to look like and how's that going to go? But for whatever reason, she's coming through saying she needs to figure this out for herself without you taking the lead. Now, down the road, let's just say you guys get into a relationship, that can switch back to you. You can be the one that leads and guides. But for whatever reason, during this time right now, I'm kind of feeling like she wants to kind of take the wheel on this. So that's the energy that I'm picking up. I feel like she needs or wants less pressure with you and more fun. The Magician is here, which means that she wants the power. She wants to decide how it's going to go. She wants to set the tone for this connection. She wants to follow her intuition. So maybe she's needing that switch. I don't want to say space, but whatever it is, she's needing that shift basically. So that way she can figure out how much she cares about this connection and how much she cares about you, because she sees you as someone who's like the ideal match or the ideal partner on paper, but I'm almost getting that she's feeling very overwhelmed by this connection. 4 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 7 of Cups. She's like overthinking a lot, and maybe she's feeling if she's the one that took the lead, if the ball was in her court, then she could have a clear head without all the noise, and she can figure out for herself how she wants this connection to go. What does spirit guides need you to know? Let's see. Sharika, hello and welcome in. How are you? All right, what do spirit guides need you to know about her? She's in a phase or a season of her life where she's kind of destroying and rebuilding right now. Okay. So And when I say destroy, I don't necessarily mean self-sabotage. I don't mean, if that resonates for you, feel free to take it. But I more so mean like in her own life, she's not like what she has created for herself. And she's in a place where she's like, we need to just rebuild. We need to like knock everything down that I already tried, that I already did, and we just need to restart. Okay. So there's a lot of focus from her perspective that Spirit is saying that she's focusing a lot on her own life right now. And it's reminding me of like demo, like not even like renovations, like I'm talking about like demo. Like if you imagine her life is a house, she's knocking that shit over and she's rebuilding and she's starting over. I feel like the lessons that she has carried into this season of her life and the experiences that she has had, she's just in this like rebuilding season, and she's wanting to kind of, and she's intentionally doing this. So there might be some destructive tendencies that you're seeing from her. Like I said, not necessarily sabotage, but if that resonates, take it. But I feel like she's in this place of like rewriting her whole story. You might notice moments from her where she's just like revamping everything. Maybe she's telling you she wants to move. Maybe she's telling you she wants a different career. Maybe she's telling you like these physical changes she wants to make to herself. I feel like she's unhappy with herself. And I feel like that's important. Spirit wants you to know. She's not happy with herself. She feels a little lost. She feels like she doesn't necessarily know if the direction she was heading in is the direction she wants to continue in. And there's definitely a dissatisfaction of self here in this reading. So with that being said, the advice to you would be to just be there for her, not overpowering or overcompensating for the connection, not as like this hovering presence, but just this constant, consistent one where if she needs to lean on your shoulder, she can, and that you're available for her. That's more so what she's needing right now than a relationship. However, if you guys are already in a relationship, then maybe that's going to shift a little bit for the time being. Maybe she's going to need a little bit of time to figure things out for herself. And I want to leave you with this, that if it's meant to be, it will be, because what's meant for you will never pass you by. If someone's going through something internally, but you guys are meant to be together, you will always find your way back. So sometimes we go through these phases where things are ebbing and flowing, and maybe right now y'all are just in an ebb place. But I feel like it's important that you know that she's in a season of rebuilding, and she's trying to figure out if the direction that she was heading in certain areas of her life is the direction she wants to continue in. So confirmation for this rebuilding is seeing differences in her and where she wants to live, where she wants to work, what she wants to physically look like, where maybe like what original goals she had for herself, if those have changed. You're just going to be seeing these things from her, and it's not necessarily even like drastic changes. It's more like a shifted mindset first before anything else, but that's where she's at. And I think Spirit just wants you to understand kind of her perspective right now and where she's at and what she's feeling, and just allow for her to navigate through this at this time. So Kaiser, that is what I have for you, friend. Let me know in the comments after the live is over if you had anything to add to your readings or anything that you wanted to tell me, or maybe we can catch up next time. But I am going to leave it there. All of our lists are closed for the night. If you're still hanging out, I just want to say thank you for the watch time. Thank you for the contributions as well to my channel this evening. Whether you liked it, hearted it, sent over a donation, I really, really appreciate you. You guys will see me again on Sunday, guaranteed. Tomorrow night, I'm not so sure. If I have time to go live, then I will. And if I'm not able to, then I'll be doing offline readings over on Instagram. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you're following me over there. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you next time.